Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Guy Wozniak. You're watching the Comic Book Guy channel, and with me, as always, is my good friend Matt.
Hey.
And we are going to be talking about, great idea from Matt, by the way, what is driving comic book readers, comic book collectors away? I mean,
Yes.
what are your thoughts on this, Matt?
Well, I could tell you from my perspective, things I've noticed. One thing I've noticed really recently is writing for the trade.
Yeah.
How it seems like writers these days are really drawing out these plots. Maybe they're being told to do this. I don't know. Whereas they're covering events, they're putting out a 12-issue series, and these events probably could have been wrapped up in 1 or 2 issues.
And we got some specific examples.
Very specific examples. For example, we covered it in one of our videos. It's the Ultimate Spider-Man series. We read the first 6 issues, and wow, there was even an issue where they just sat in a restaurant the entire time talking.
It was just talking head the entire thing. I don't think Spider-Man put his costume on. It was talking head and eating for 22 pages or whatever it was.
Yeah, and the same thing with this new Skinbreaker book by Robert Kirkman and David Finch.
Yeah.
Again, it's not every issue, like there's like one thing that happens. That's it.
They're just slowly progressing this story.
It's a very slow plotting plot.
Yeah.
The story, and I'm thinking, you know what, maybe this is going to be like a slow burn. Maybe this alien planet will see like some aliens invaders come in and try to I'm like, that'd be cool to see this, like,
you know what it needs to do? Have you ever seen the movie From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah.
The first half of the movie, you're like, oh, this is just like a weird gangster movie. And then all of a sudden, vampires.
Like,
that's what they need to do with Skinbreaker.
Danny Trejo's here for reasons.
Yeah. They need to do something like that with Skinbreaker.
Yeah, I love Danny Trejo. I've got to meet him. He's a great guy.
Oh, man, that was fun times.
Yeah. But yeah, there's these long, drawn-out plots, and just you're reading these issues, and they're just boring. I really wish. You're reading this, wishing like just get to the point. But yeah, they seem to be writing for the trade, where they will collect 10 issues, a dozen issues, 6 issues, and then that's what they're looking for. They're looking to make that money on selling the trade over a really sustainable monthly issue.
It used to be, and I don't know when this changed exactly, but it used to be every issue, and Stan Lee has famously said this, this issue is somebody's first, right?
Yes.
So every issue is approached with the idea of like, somebody's going to be reading this as their first comic, and we want the experience to be a good one.
Yeah.
We want them to come by their second and their third and their fifth and their 50th comics. So we have to give them not necessarily a full story, although oftentimes it was a full story in one comic book, but at least a start, a middle, and a finish.
Yes.
Even if it was going to run into the next issue with a continuation. And now it just seems like more often than not, there's just the middle. Every issue is just the middle.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. I remember famously, I love She-Hulk as a character. Love She-Hulk. Sure. I have the original full Savage She-Hulk run. I have the sensational She-Hulk run. They came out with a new She-Hulk series. I was excited. I'm like, all right, excellent. There was no She-Hulk in the first 5 issues. Jennifer Walters was there doing her like normal lawyer life stuff and dealing with like PTSD from a fight with Thanos, where she got put into a coma and almost died. But She-Hulk didn't appear for like the first 5 issues. I'm like, what is going on here? It's called She-Hulk. It's not Jennifer Walters, attorney at law. I don't want to watch that. It was like reading Ally McBeal. I'm like, who is this written for? Not She-Hulk fans.
And I think this kind of cascades into point number 2, is where very often, not only are they writing for the trades and stretching out the stories, the consequence of that is it's just a bunch of filler issue after filler issue after filler issue.
That is point number 2. And issues where nothing happens.
Again, we'll point at Ultimate Spider-Man when they're just in a restaurant.
An entire issue of them in a restaurant.
Or when Ben and J. Jonah Jameson are in a sauna together, just talking.
It's
not the
4 full pages of 2 old men in a sauna talking.
Okay, so it's not the full issue, but that issue...
Not even about anything of consequence.
Yeah, that's just filler content, filler pages. It's just stretching everything out in order to reach that issue 6 so that they can package it into a trade.
I remember what the X books were really notorious for this over the last few years, especially like the Krakoa area books. A lot of issues were there's just not a lot happening. It's just them kind of hanging around, hanging out at the beach, hanging out at a bar. That's boring. Where are the fighting? Where's the villains? Where's all these interpersonal issues and stuff like this? Oh, wow! And well, you picked up a new X-Men book, right? After they rebooted it for the umpteenth time, right?
Yeah, I don't know, volume 10, volume 15, I forget. Yeah, I don't know which one, but yeah, I got both the new X-Men and the new Uncanny X-Men. And I read the first 12 or so issues of it, and I enjoyed it, but I think it was a lot of I just enjoyed reading comics again because I had been out of the comic game for the better part of 10 years. But in reality, over the course of those 12 or so issues that I did read, very little happened. Yeah. Now, we could probably point to a further issue that I don't want to delve into too deeply yet, but it was just confusing because of how often they're rebooting. And again, we're going to touch on this.
Yes.
But a lot of just kind of filler content of oh, there's this problem, and we're going to talk about this problem. But we're not going to act. We're not going to go handle the problem. We're going to talk about the problem.
Yes.
And it was just page after page after page of talking head. It's what am I watching, CNN or am I watching the news here? It's just talking head, talking head, talking head.
Yeah. So that's another big issue that had really put me off of comics. It's a lot of talking and a lot less action. Reason number 3, endless events.
Yeah, that was big in
back-to-back event after event after event.
Yeah, that was a big thing that got me out of comics a while ago.
And sometimes the events don't even really wrap up before the next one even begins, and it's crazy. And what they do is they try to tie in all these other titles into these events.
Yep.
So you're not getting, if you buy just the event books, you're not getting the full story because now you have to read all these other
What did you say?
titles.
Was it you or you knew of someone that did the math on one of these events and it was $1,400 or something?
If you wanted many, if you want to get the full story of this event, it was you're spending over $1,000 on all of these comics to get all the details of this event that took place. And that's insane.
Whereas back in the day, I don't know, Secret Wars. What did it cost you to read Secret Wars? The 12 issues. That was it.
Yeah, that was the 12 issues. That was it.
At $1.99, $1.25. What were they back then?
Oh, I don't remember the exact price. It was probably $1 around there, but no, $1.25 maybe.
So $15 to read Secret Wars in 1980, whatever,
86,
versus the latest and greatest events nowadays is going to cost you hundreds, if not $1,000. What are they thinking?
Was it 86? I'm thinking when the figures came out.
Yeah, I thought it was 82 or 84, but either way,
84,
it don't matter.
I don't know. Someone tell us in the comments. I don't want to look it up right now.
Yeah.
All these endless events, and if you don't want to, if you're not into the event, and you just want to keep reading your regular, because this happened to me. I love the Avengers. I was reading the Avengers, and I remember it was 3 or 4 issues where it's all talking about this event because the Avengers were involved in this big event, and they just keep going on and on about this event. Well, I'm not reading the event book because it just doesn't sound interesting to me. But now my title, it comes to a grinding halt of what was going on, and now they're dealing with all the stuff in this event, which I didn't care about and I don't want to read about. And so now I'm why am I bothering reading this?
Well, this is why I cut off my subscriptions to a lot of the current comics just in the past month. I said, no, all right, I'm not going to order Uncanny X-Men or X-Men anymore, and I cut off Wolverine, even though it didn't feel quite as tied into the event situation. But there was some big event, Age of Apocalypse or something. I don't even remember the title of it. I didn't want to get sucked into an event. Well, they paused the X-Men comic books. They created new I don't know what they even called them now. It was instead of being Uncanny X-Men, it was the Ultimate X-Men or something. It wasn't Ultimate, but you know what I'm saying. They created
Astonishing X-Men.
They created a new title to replace that Uncanny X-Men title for 4 issues. And then they went back into, and this is just in this past couple of months, went back into the Uncanny X-Men title starting January. But it's all hinging on all of that event garbage that had happened over the past 3 months while they paused these books. So it's I didn't read that stuff. I'm going to be not not into the fold of what's going on in the storyline. So I was just like, forget it, I'm done. So you lost me as a customer and a reader, and I bet I'm not the only person on not just one title, but multiple titles.
Yeah.
It makes
if you like events and you gobble this stuff up, you love it. You love buying all these different books so you can get the full picture. I mean, hey, great. If you've got the money to blow on that stuff, good for you. I don't. And I don't have much interest in these huge events because honestly, they don't really accomplish anything. Nothing really changes for the most part. There are some things that happen, like Thor lost his hammer and stuff, and I think Original Sin. That was kind of a cool little plot point that happened there. But for the most part, like the whole Cap Hydra thing, I used to love reading Cap, and then they did that, and I'm like, well, this is pointless and stupid.
When they made Captain America
Agent of Hydra. I'm like, obviously they're going to change him back. So all this stuff that they're doing, it's going to be pointless, and there's no meaning to it because he's going to go back to the old Steve Rogers we all know. And so what's the point? So I just dipped out of the title. I have not been back since. Because honestly, nothing really about Captain America books has really sparked my interest anymore. I'm an avid Captain America fan. But yeah, I kind of broke it down. I thought this was interesting. And we're just talking about Marvel. Because if we went in the DC as well, I mean, wow, this would be like a 3-hour video.
Right. Yeah. Let's look at it from the Marvel perspective.
I'm a big Marvel guy, so this is what I went with. I just broke it down for Marvel. In the 80s, so we're about an entire decade, the 80s all the way to 90, there were 7 events. 7.
And how many of those events off the top of your head actually crossed into the core titles?
That's the thing. It was like Secret Wars.
It's usually its own
Contest of Champions.
Its own standalone event.
And that's the beautiful thing about Secret Wars is, okay, they have one at the end of one issue, the heroes go into this like transportation, thing in Central Park, and they're gone. The next issue, they come back.
Yeah.
And hey, if you want to know about funky new Spider-Man's black costume, you gotta read Secret Wars.
Yeah. That was good.
Yeah, and they even dressed, Rhodey's upgraded armor in Iron Man. It was like a couple of panels on a page. They address it.
Yep.
And then they moved on. It was so well done.
And then the 90s happened. Oh,
right? So in the 90s, this is, 90 through 99, there were 29 events in those 10 years.
The X events were some of the craziest.
Yes,
Executioner,
a lot of X events, and I mean these weren't standalone events. We're not talking about that because there were some events like where they had like the Serpent Crown and stuff. There was like these events that all took place within the annuals of all the comics, but it was a big reaching event that that took up a lot of titles and stuff.
Oh, I remember there was Executioner Song, but there was another X one. I can't remember which one I was reading at the time, and it was like now, and all I wanted to read was X-Men, right?
Yeah,
it's like nope. Now you got to read X Factor. Now you got to read this. Now you got to read that, and it crossed over like 20 different titles. It was insane.
So there's 29 events in the 90s, and I think everyone knows what happened to Marvel in the 90s.
They sold a lot of comics.
They did, but they also didn't sell a lot of comics.
Suddenly they stopped.
Because they had this mentality, they're just throwing everything at the wall, and they ended up going bankrupt.
Yeah.
That's where they sold off a lot of the rights to the Fantastic Four, Spider-Man, X-Men to like Fox and Sony and all these other studios, and that's how Universal was able to make rides and stuff like that with Marvel characters. It was a fire sale. Everything must go.
But at the very beginning of the 90s, they were selling a lot of comics.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone thought they were going to get rich and put their kids through school on those comics.
And so then the 2000s hit, right? And so now Marvel's, they've had all these like severe problems and stuff. And so they scale it way back. So, 2000 to 2009, you have 13 events. That's it. Not a lot. And this is Marvel, building up their momentum again.
Yeah.
Getting back to their A game. And so then the 2010s, 21 events.
Ramp it back up.
We're just ratcheting it back up again. 21 events.
You know what's interesting? If you look at these numbers, and we got the 2020s to talk about, it ebbs and flows like the economy, right? Like 80s had a dip. Remember, there was like all kinds of like fuel crises and stuff. 90s, everything was booming. 2000s, post 9/11, there was a dip. 2010s, everything is booming after the 2008 housing.
The housing market, the bubble.
Everything in the 2010s starts booming again. It's interesting. I didn't realize that it follows that very
and so then it doesn't look like they're slowing down at all, because now we're in the 20s now, 2020s, and we're just hit 2026, and there's already been 12 events. So they do not seem to be slowing down.
Half the decade, and they're already at 12.
And the last two big events has been what? Blood Hunt and One World Under Doom, which no one gave a crap about.
Yeah, I didn't even know it was a thing.
No one even cares remotely about this One World Under Doom thing.
Very, I don't know, like off-putting for me as a collector over the years of like feeling like I'm being forced to participate in something that I don't want to participate in.
They would make you have to buy books you don't want to buy or wouldn't normally buy to find out, get all the aspects of what's going on in this event. And also you have like a book you would normally enjoy reading. Now it's been hijacked by this event. So now you're forced to read about this event, or you could just like not buy it and leave it on the shelf.
Yeah,
which sucks as a collector.
Somebody's gonna be like, no one's making you buy these things. Yeah, we know it's optional. Obviously, you don't need to put that in the comments. Save your breath. We understand that no one is forcing us to buy these things, but that's
the thing, we don't.
Yeah, so we stop. But from the perspective of a fan, of a collector, it's disappointing that they have at different points in time ruined things that we love. That's what ultimately.
Well, I mean, that's the thing. This is what I'm saying has driven me away from buying a lot of comics, is specifically this. So yeah, no one's forcing you. You're right. No one's forcing me, so I'm not.
Yeah.
That's why, as one of the reasons, I'm not buying a lot of the newest stuff, because of these events. It's driven me away from buying comics.
Well, here's another reason, and it's not too dissimilar to the just relentless event pushing. What about constant reboots?
Yes.
Taking your Amazing Spider-Man that ran for 446 consecutive issues, if I'm not mistaken, going, nope, just kidding, number one again. And then a little while later, nope, just kidding, number one again. You looked up some numbers on Iron Man.
Yes.
And this is shocking.
Iron Man's one of my favorite characters. I have actually the entire Iron Man series, number one, all through his original run.
You got every Iron Man from the whole first series?
Yeah.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah, from his original series.
Okay.
I have all 332 issues of Iron Man, starting with number one. I do have some Tales of Suspense stuff, but I only have it when Captain America jumped on. That's it. I don't have anything before that, because that gets really pricey.
Yeah, you break out the Benjamins for those.
Yes, that gets very pricey, so I had to draw a hard line somewhere. So I decided, okay, I'm going to have Iron Man. I'm going to start with the Captain America run, and then that's when it branches off into their own titles. But yeah, I love Iron Man. So yeah, I broke this down. I was really stunned when I started looking into this about how many times, because I figure, how many times is it being rebooted? I thought 6 or 7.
Leave it in the comments below before we tell you.
Yeah.
How many reboots for Iron Man?
Just Iron Man.
Do you think there has been, starting originally in 1968? Do you think it's been rebooted 5 times? Do you think it's been rebooted 6 times? Would you say you would have guessed 6?
I thought I would have been 6, 7, maybe 8.
I would have guessed about 5 or 6 times.
Yeah.
So now your opportunity, put in the comments, Iron Man reboots and a number. And I want to see how many people actually know this number. And by the fact that I'm hyping this up, is probably a lot of people are going to guess higher than they would have originally. But break the bad news to them. How many reboots?
13.
Jeez, 13?
The series has been rebooted 13 times, with the 14th series coming out.
It's in production as we speak.
Yes.
Comes out in March, I think. April,
it might be out already. But again, me and Guy don't have a comic shop, so I have to order it in the mail. I haven't gotten it yet.
Right.
I did order it because I heard a lot of people saying really positive things about the writing and artist team. So I'm like, okay, I like Iron Man, and believe me, I'm hungry for a good Iron Man. I just haven't seen one in a very long time. But yes, the series, the original series was 1968, Iron Man number 1, and it ran for 332 issues until 1996. So that's 28 years of Iron Man, solid Iron Man. Mm-hmm. And then they did that like really silly event where Scarlet Witch killed the Avengers, and they did like a whole reboot of the entire Marvel line From everything, Iron Man, Spider-Man, everything, Captain America. That's where you get the Rob Liefeld Captain America with the really disproportionate chest and arms. Yeah. That's what that's from.
I'll put a picture in here. You can see this is, if you've never seen this drawing.
It's funny. It didn't appear in any comic. It was like for like a promotional poster or something like that.
Promotional image, but it was a Rob Liefeld Captain America, kind of like, you know what it reminded me of is like when Arnold Schwarzenegger was Mr. Universe and he'd do that like side pose.
Yeah, it's super funky looking. Oof. He gets a lot of crap for that. But yeah, it's really
look, listen, everyone's entitled to have a bad day. I love Rob Liefeld. I think some of his comics are some of my favorites. And he's even
acknowledged, I couldn't get the proportions right. I was just a really off bad day for me. I couldn't, for some reason. He got in his own head. Yeah. And he just overthought it. So, hey, you know what? It happens to everybody. But yeah, that ran for 28 years. And then they reboot it. With that terrible, Marvel line, and that only ran for 13 issues before they rebooted it.
Can you imagine you're at the most, let's just call it prestigious. We're talking about comic books, so, prestigious might be a little bit of a generous adjective, but the most prestigious, potentially one of the two most prestigious comic book publishers of all time. And you're like, let's reboot a comic book title for one of our most popular characters. Mm-hmm. Iron Man's A-list, absolutely. Yeah. Maybe he's not quite in the same category as Spider-Man, but I mean, right there. Mm-hmm. And 13 issues. That's the best you can come up with before you're like, oh, this was a failure.
Well, yeah, this was late 90s. Marvel was struggling at the time.
I mean, obviously.
They did a horrible reboot of the entire line. Nobody liked it. Everybody hated it. So they did they tried to course correct. Which, okay, fine. And they seem to have done that. Because after 13 issues, it ends in 97. Then the third series of Iron Man comes out where they've gone back. That comes out in 98, and it runs to 2004.
So a good run.
Good run.
Yeah.
You got 89, that lasted 89 issues until 2004. And then they rebooted again. Okay, in 2005, that runs for 4 years with 35 issues. And towards the end of 2008, they just changed that into like a War Machine book, really. It just turned into War Machine and
kind of splintered the title.
It splintered the title, and it came out with Invincible Iron Man in 2008. And that ran for another 4 years until 2012. 61 issues, so a nice, solid, long run. And then, I think halfway through, they go to the legacy numbering, which a lot of Marvel stuff seems to dip in and out of that, the legacy numbering.
They want to capitalize on that milestone issue because if issue number ones sell the best, issue numbers 500s and 600s,
600, 700, 800s.
They sell the second best.
Yes. Yeah, they seem to be capitalizing on the anniversary issues. So, again, they rebooted again. And this is the 6th series now. This is 2012, and it only runs for a year, but it's 28 issues. So they're coming out bi-monthly, every 2 a month.
Now, this is where I feel like they are just kicking the can down the road, because from here on out, you're going to be shocked at how many consecutive issues before they reboot. It's low number after low number after low number.
So that ran for 28 issues. And then they had this whole event where some heroes and some villains they switch, where villains become heroes and heroes become villains. And it was pretty funky, wasn't popular. So then they came out with Superior Iron Man.
Now, what do you suppose that there was a reason they called it Superior Iron Man?
Because Superior Spider-Man was a big hit for them.
That was doing very well.
It was very well. And I myself loved that run.
One of my favorite Spider-Man runs is Superior Spider-Man.
It was really well done.
It was excellent. It was.
Yeah. But yeah, that only lasted 9 issues.
So Superior Spider-Man, I believe, is
32, 31, 32.
Yeah, it ran for 3 plus years.
Yeah.
This ran for, what'd you say? 9 issues?
9 issues. Yes. From 2014 to the end of 2014 to into 2015. And then they come out with an Invincible Iron Man in 2015. And that lasted until 2017 for 14 issues.
I mean, better than 9.
Slightly, yes. And then they rebooted again in 2017, another Invincible Iron Man. That only ran for 11 issues in 2017.
But wait, it gets worse.
Well, it seemed to focus. This one focused on Ironheart more, and Tony was like an AI.
Was he dead? Or, I didn't read this.
He had been killed in Civil War II. Another event
that was not needed or asked for.
Yeah. So he's an AI at this point. But then he comes back, of course, because
nobody stays dead except Uncle Ben.
Yep. They rebooted again, Invincible Iron Man, and this time it's just strictly legacy numbering on the title. But it is a reboot. That lasts 8 issues.
They had to hit
until they hit 600.
They had to hit 600 before they rebooted.
600. Another big sales boost. They can make double-sized issues and with 87 variant covers.
Yeah.
And they rebooted again, of course. And now this is the 11th series. We're 2018 into 2020. That lasted 19 issues, right? So then, again, wasn't selling that well. It wasn't popular. So they rebooted again in 2020. This is the 12th series now. This lasts for 25 issues.
Now, here's an interesting point about this one. What happened between 2020 and 2023?
What?
COVID.
Oh, yeah.
Everything was selling like crazy during COVID. Yes. I bet that's why it lasted 25 issues.
Yes, 25 issues for 2 years. They rebooted again in 2024, and they cancel it after 10 issues. Again, low sales. So
don't forget about that one.
And yes, so if you break it down, the original run of Iron Man lasted 332 issues.
Yeah.
Okay, all the issues just
over
from the series.
28 years that was.
That was 28 years. Over 29 years of them rebooting it constantly, it's 322 issues total of just the ongoing series after reboot after reboot after reboot. And everybody knows this isn't, no great mystery. They know that they get a big boost in sales when there's a number 1 issue.
Yeah.
That's why they do it. Everybody knows it's not a big secret. They keep rebooting it because number 1s sell more. So that's why they keep doing it, because the sales keep dipping, and then they reboot it. And what is incredibly baffling to me is not so much why they do it, but why people will buy it.
I mean, they get me still, and I've been complaining about this for years. So I guess I'm to blame as much as anyone else.
Yeah.
I mean, for example, new Daredevil comes out in a month or so.
Yeah.
And a new Punisher. And I went on my where I order my comics from online to their order page, and I was like, "Oh, new Daredevil!" Click. "Oh, new Punisher!" Click. And then 2 or 3 days later, I'm like, never mind. And I unclicked them. I finally am learning my lesson.
Yeah.
But I mean, they're still getting me to this day. So it works.
Especially when they reboot the series, because the sales are dwindling, and they keep the same writing and artist team.
Oh yeah. Well, the other thing too that we talked about before. New readers that are looking for a jumping on point, right?
Yeah.
This is a nightmare of confusion for a new reader.
Somebody's going to ask me, "Hey, what's a good point to jump on?" I don't know.
Yeah. How do you answer that question at this juncture?
Yeah. Someone would ask me, "Hey, what's a good jumping on point to Iron Man?" I can't tell you.
I mean, I'll go back and talk about the X-Men books. You would have thought, or I would have thought, when I got back into collecting recently, X-Men's been rebooted recently. So I went back and got those few back issues. I'm reading it. Magneto is crippled in a wheelchair. Not Professor X. Professor X is in a prison underneath the X-Men mansion.
Okay.
And Magneto is crippled in a wheelchair, a hover wheelchair, of course.
He's Magneto.
That's not a jumping on point. That's just continued from whatever came before it.
Yeah.
So it's not even it's a new number 1. We'll attract new readers. I mean, you will because you're deceiving them, but it's not truly a reboot even.
Yeah.
It's just it's literally just issue number XYZ, but we put 1 there instead.
Yeah.
Awful. It's awful.
But yeah, that's just Iron Man. Who character, again, I love Iron Man. I would love a good Iron Man book. I've ordered the new Iron Man series because I've heard good things about the writer and artist. And I'm desperately wanting some good stuff, some good books again.
Prepare to be disappointed, I say.
I'm hopeful.
Okay.
We'll see. Because again, I would love a good Iron Man book. But yeah, this is crazy. The amount of times he's been rebooted, and there's some that are probably even more. This is just Iron Man. Which a character you should have. Everybody knows who Iron Man is. Everybody knows Robert Downey Jr. is Iron Man. Everyone across the world. the constant reboots is crazy to me because they're chasing short-term gains when they should be having long-term goals.
I watched an interview with Todd McFarlane recently, probably in the last month or two.
Mm-hmm.
It was on YouTube. You could probably find it. I don't remember who was interviewing him, but he was talking about this like number one thing, and he said like, I'm never gonna do it. I'm never gonna reboot Spawn.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, I could throw a new number one on there, and then like maybe it would sell more issues, but like. And the funny thing he said was like, I know what I'll do. I'll just put number one on every issue and then put the real number right underneath it. Yeah. Will that make me more money? And, he's being facetious, of course. Yeah. But like the man has integrity. Like that was pretty cool when I heard him say. I was like, and that's when I decided I hadn't been subscribed to Spawn yet since I've gotten back into comics in the last 6 or 7 months. And I was like, I'm going to buy Spawn. I want to support that person.
Yeah.
I don't even care if the comic's good or not. I like this person and I want to support them. And I added Spawn to my subscription list and like, I'm enjoying it to boot.
Hey,
so like
right.
win-win.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. But okay. Yeah. I think that's enough about the constant rebooting.
All right. Let's jump into number 5. And
number 5, which I stumbled across some numbers for this while looking at my Iron Man stuff.
Yeah, this is scary.
It's variant covers, the endless variant covers.
Now, I think that this one's going to be divisive. I think a lot of people like us don't like the onslaught of variant covers, but I think a lot of people out there do like variant covers.
I mean, sure, the odd variant cover here and there, that's cool. Like if there's like the Terminator Metal.
Mm-hmm.
They had a Bob Layton variant. I love Bob Layton. I think he's a fantastic artist. And if you've given me the option of like, okay, I'm not going to buy all the variants. If you got a Bob Layton variant cover, I want that one. I'll take that over the normal cover.
Yeah,
I'm not buying all of them. I think that's a cheap marketing ploy done by the comic creators, and I think it's BS. I mean, if you want to have 1 or 2 variants, hey, cool. Like a foil cover or a lenticular cover, something gimmicky like that. Hey, okay, cool. I'm a sucker for that sometimes, but not to the crazy degree that they take it.
Do you recall prior to the early 90s, and speaking about guys like Todd McFarlane, Rob Liefeld, and Jim Lee, do you recall, like those, obviously, books I'm talking about, Spider-Man, X-Force, and X-Men.
Sure.
Those all had 5-ish or so different variants. Prior to that, I don't remember. That was my first exposure to variant covers. I didn't know that was even a concept. Did anyone do it earlier than that you're aware of?
Not that I'm aware of, no.
Let us know in the comments. Were there people doing variant covers prior to that 1990s
I mean,
run?
you had your second prints.
Okay, no, I mean like a release day, like 5, 6, 10.
Like the first Cable, New Mutants 87.
Yeah, the orange. And then
one's orange and the other's like gold.
Whitish something, gold?
Yeah, it's like gold, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you're right. I remember. It is gold. Yeah.
So that is a variant, but I have both.
But it's a second print. So
that's a second print.
That feels more legitimate than...
And the only other difference would be there is the 35-cent variant.
Price variants.
The price variants.
Yeah.
And then maybe there's like Canadian ones too that are different. They're priced differently. Mm-hmm. And then there's the direct versus
barcode versus little icon.
Yeah. There's those
newsstand and direct.
Which there are some people that they collect newsstand and direct of all the older issues.
But in all of those cases, I think that wasn't meant to be a collectible thing. There was a purpose. Why was it newsstand? Why was it direct? Because these ones were sold at the newsstands.
Yeah.
And this one was sold at comic book stores.
Yes.
Why was there price variants? Honestly, I don't know why there were price variants, but they were
switching over the pricing of the comics at the time. Uh-huh. And some were priced in the old price and some were priced in the new one.
Second printings. Why is it a variant cover? Because we want to make it distinct and easily to recognize that it's a second print. All of this I can get behind.
Yeah.
But then Spider-Man 1, X-Men 1, X-Force came out, and it was 5 different covers, which at the time I was like, 5?
All right. I'm going to throw some numbers at you.
But it gets crazier.
It gets crazy. This is super, like, they're taking advantage of their customers. And again, no one's saying, no one's saying you have to buy all these. Well, you're right. And again, this is why I'm saying I don't buy these. This is what's pushing me away from buying.
Yeah, not only do people not buy them, it leaves a bad taste in their mouth, and now they don't want to buy anything.
And plus, you get a lot of retailers get stuck, holding all these unsellable books and stuff because they want to get that one of 100, variant covers.
The ratio covers,
with the ratio covers. and then they go mark them up and resell them, and then people buy, whatever. It's a whole separate discussion entirely. Anyway, for example, I came across this environment for the 2018 series. There were 31 variants for the number one issue. 31 different variants
for issue one.
For issue one.
And remember, the whole run was only 19 total consecutive
19 total issues.
There was more variants of issues one than the entirety of the series.
Yes. That's crazy. And for the entire 19-issue series, there were a grand total of 83 different variants. The standard cover plus the variance covers so if you want every issue and variants of that 19-issue run, you're buying 83 comics. That's crazy for a comic that was canceled for low sales.
Within 2 years.
Within 2 years, yes. Yeah. That's nuts. That is super excessive. And you'd think, okay, maybe they've learned their lesson. Nope. They are just chugging along right at it. And the last series they had, which they canceled after 10 issues, because again, low sales. They had 9 variant covers for the number one issue.
Well, they pulled back a little bit
on the number one issue, but all the other issues had like 3 or 4 each, for a total of 42 standard and variant covers for a series that lasted 10 issues.
42 different
42 covers
for 10 issues.
Over 10 issues. So they haven't changed anything.
Now, again, I think there's going to be a lot of people out there that are going to say, I like the variants, I like collecting them, I like picking the ones that I like. And that's cool, man. If you like it,
you got the money for it?
Spend your money however.
Good for you, man.
However you want. Spend your money. Enjoy collecting comics the way you like.
I'm saying, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I'm not participating. I'm taking my ball and I'm going home.
And by ball, you mean wallet.
Wallet.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, I mean, I get what they're doing. They're trying to survive. They're trying to make money, and they're trying to keep this medium alive. And this is probably the only way they can do it. And maybe if this is the only way you can do it, and look, this is just me being devil's advocate, maybe it's time to die. I don't know. I mean, sounds like the wrong thing to say, but like, it just feels predatory, especially the ratio ones, especially trying to get people to spend $25 and $50 and $100 on an issue of a comic book because it's manufactured to be rare.
Yeah.
I don't like that.
And like I said, if they come out with 31 variants, I'm going to buy that one cool one that I really like. And that's it. Yeah. I'll just buy the one. But there are some people, feel compelled. I have to have every issue. I'm a completist. I want to have everything. And
so this is the part where it gets a little predatory.
If that's you, hey, okay, that's cool being a completionist. I get it. I just don't have that kind of cash to throw around.
This is where it starts to feel kind of predatory to me. And let's just take a quick little side tangent and look at video games, in particular video games that have loot boxes, which are something that you pay for with real money, and it gives you some random thing. Like that's straight up slot machine style, like psychology that you're
they're doing blind bags now, apparently.
So that's what I was getting to. So
I haven't heard much about it because I wouldn't do that, but
so now, like I bought a few for Batman's new reboot, right? Now you get a blind bag for cover price, which is, I guess, good that they're not overcharging you for them, in the hopes that you get the rare ratio book in the blind bag. I mean, like literally video game companies are getting sued for this, like a loot box predatory gambling thing. And is this any different when they're blind bagging variant covers? Like, so this is how they get you. That first they have to have a bunch of variant covers in the roster that you could get.
Yeah.
And then they hide which one is in it inside of a sealed bag. That's gambling. I mean, I don't know how else to look at it.
I mean, I don't know. That could be like when you go to like my wife is really into like Disney pins. Loves Disney pins. She's got a vast collection of Disney pins.
Disney pin folks can get crazy.
They have the chase pins.
Yep.
Right? Where you go in there and it's the same concept. It's a blind bag. You don't know what pin you're getting, but there's a set of like, say, a dozen. So you're buying a bunch of these in the hopes that you're getting at least as many of the set as you can. And you're going to get some doubles. It does happen. I kind of see that as like along the same lines.
Oh, for sure. I mean,
is Disney gambling too? I mean, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. No, this is a story as old as time. Baseball cards, right? Wax packs with the bubble gum. We've been doing this for decades and decades and decades.
Yeah. But that's the thing. These rare variant issues can be worth a lot of money, and people do resell them.
Mm-hmm. And they're spending, tons of money trying to get them in these blind bags. I'm not a fan of that at all.
Yeah.
At least, and I mentioned the baseball thing. Now today, don't ask me about baseball cards or sports cards today. I don't know. But let's go back to when I was a kid in the 80s and 90s buying baseball cards. My understanding, and I could be wrong, was at least your odds of getting the Ken Griffey Jr. rookie card versus some random schmo was the same. I opened a pack. There's 1 in 1,000 chance I'm going to get Ken Griffey Jr. or Steve Smith. But now it's like, oh no, the blind bag doesn't have the same odds of getting the good one versus the bad, worthless ones. It's
the more expensive, higher end ones were rarer. They produced a lot less of them.
Yeah, I'm not a fan.
Yeah, not a chance. There's no way I would buy a blind bag. Okay, which moves us on to reason number 6. Lack of continuity and retcons.
Retcons, everyone's favorite thing.
Yes.
When a character suddenly is reshaped or reformed into something that they never were in the past for usually either no explicable reason or very thinly veiled reasons.
Yes.
And it almost never adds value to the character or the story.
Never. And the one example, again, I'm a big Iron Man guy. That's my example of this. They just did this inexplicably for no real reason. Everybody knows Tony Stark. His parents were killed in a car crash. He inherits this vast fortune and Stark Industries from his father Howard Stark and his mother Maria Stark. He named several foundations after her over the years and whatever. Nope.
No, yeah. Wait a minute. I thought that Tony Stark was adopted.
Yeah, he's adopted. Turns out he's adopted. His parents were S.H.I.E.L.D. agents, and the Starks adopted him because they had a son who was very frail and kind of had to be like on medical equipment stuff, kind of like a boy in the bubble kind of thing.
What was his name? Arlo or something?
Arno.
And
see, this came around 2020. If anybody knows about Iron Man 2020, he's a evil version of Iron Man introduced in a Machine Man miniseries back in the day, a 4-issue miniseries. He's like the evil future version of Iron Man, and his name is Arno Stark. So yeah, that's who their actual son is. He's Arno Stark. And they did this thing where they tried to make him, first him and Tony got along great and, oh, hey, bro, but then they slowly made him a bad guy and it just didn't stick. Nobody likes him, even as a bad guy. So now they just don't even talk about him anymore.
Short-lived.
Very short-lived. Not sure why they did it. It seems just for no reason whatsoever, but they're like an example of a continuity and retcon that was just pointless and really didn't add anything to the character.
I mean, I'm going to play devil's advocate, and not for this example specifically, but in general. These comic books, these characters have been around for some of them going on 100 years. Would you rather them keep rehashing the exact same thing over and over and over again, or shake it up and make something that is both new but familiar? So you still have your character that you're familiar with, but now there's something new. I'm not sure what the right answer is here, other than to say that if they're going to do it, they should really spend some time and effort and get some very creative people involved and do it right.
Yeah.
At a minimum. And it's so often just these harebrained ideas.
Yeah. That they end up like walking back on later on.
Yeah.
A lot of times because it's incredibly unpopular. It just seems like a lot of the times it's just not really thought out well. And yeah, they do, they retcon stuff all the time. Like they brought, Bucky back from the dead. He'd been dead forever. They do stuff like that, sure. But when they brought Bucky back, that was so well done. I mean, I didn't mind that in the least. That was a really good storyline.
Who wrote that? I forget.
Ed Brubaker.
Brubaker, yeah.
Yeah, with Steve Epting on the artwork. I mean, exceptional cap run. Yeah, I would strongly encourage anybody to pick up everything Ed Brubaker has written. The guy's fantastic.
Whereas
his criminal stuff is really good.
Whereas on the other hand, the new Spider-Man movie is going to be touching on the Brand New Day storyline, where they basically retcon everything in the Spider-Man universe. Like, everyone knows about Spider-Man, and then suddenly nobody knows about Spider-Man, and like we just tie this all up in a nice, neat bow. They got Mephisto involved in this or something. I mean, like, I love the Spider-Man movies. The last 3 that they did were all really good, relatively speaking. I mean, not Oscar winners or anything, but for a superhero movie.
My favorite's still 2. Tobey Maguire.
Oh,
Doc Ock.
That's your favorite one?
Favorite Spider-Man.
That was a good one. But
best one.
These last 3 have all been enjoyable. But the next one is based on this Brand New Day storyline, which was a huge Spider-Man retcon.
Yeah.
And nobody liked Brand New Day in the comics. Nobody liked it. So it's surprising.
I did that as Spider-Man on the Clone Saga.
I kind of like the Clone Saga. But I digress. I'm nervous about this next Spider-Man movie just because they're basing it on this retcon event, basically. It's like, what are you thinking? But
All right, and then finally, that brings us to my last reason is the consistently pushing unpopular characters. They just keep bringing these unlikable, unpopular characters to the forefront and just like shoving them in your face. Like, they're popular, see? No, they're not.
Who saw the Eternals movie? Did you actually like it? Leave it in the comments below.
Yeah.
I thought it.
I told Guy about this. I have an Eternals #1. And when Marvel movie, they would make announcements about new projects and stuff like that, I would kind of look and say, hey, what are these things going for? And there'd be a huge spike in sales. Like I spoke about my Ultron book one time, my first appearance of Ultron.
You made out like a bandit on that.
I made a crazy amount of money selling that. And then a few months later, like a year later, I just bought another one for what I think I originally paid for it. So yeah, I used to see a huge spike in the value of these books when they would make an announcement like that. And so I already had an Eternals #1, their first appearance, and they announced the movie. The needle didn't tick at all. And then the movie came out, and then after the movie came out, it went down in value.
And that's how you know it's
not
bad.
Kidding. But yeah, the Eternals have never been popular. But then everybody remember they were really trying to push Inhumans as a thing.
They made a TV show.
Yeah.
It was not well received. I don't think it went past 1 season.
Yeah, that's because no one has ever given a crap about Inhumans. Like, no one has ever cared about Inhumans.
Everyone, well, not everyone, but like a lot of people kind of like the dog, Lockjaw.
Lockjaw.
I guess like that's kind of a fan favorite, but other than that.
Yeah, they've never been sustainable standalone characters.
Black Bolt, was he in Humans or Eternals?
He's in Humans.
He's in Humans.
Yeah.
I mean, Black
Bolt, Medusa, Triton, and Karnak, and those guys.
There's like a good Inhumans story in somebody's head that would make a great movie. I think that somebody on Earth could come up with a great Inhumans movie. They're not bad characters. Black Bolt's cool. Medusa's cool. The dog, everyone likes the dog.
Well, they're always good as like stories like in the Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four go to Attilan and visit the Inhumans.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Sure.
And then when they move to the moon, we're up on the moon. Here's some Inhumans.
Yeah, I remember there was a story with the X-Men and the Inhumans.
Yeah.
During the Claremont run.
Yeah, and then you have like Captain Marvel. They keep trying to make Captain Marvel a thing. And she's not. I'm sorry. She's like Wonder Man. She's a good team character. She's never been a strong standalone character, no matter how much they try to insist that she is. She's just not.
Here's what here. I think this is it anyway. I obviously don't work for Marvel or DC, or not DC, Marvel or Disney. They had a grand slam walk-off home run of a hit with Guardians of the Galaxy, and they were like, let's just keep doing this. But they keep striking out. It's over and over they're striking out. You would think eventually it'd be like, maybe we don't know what we're doing. I don't know. But I think that's what's driving it for the most part, is that they had this one B-list, C-list team of characters, like a goofy tree and a raccoon and some like snarky guy.
Well, I like the second one, and I think the Guardians movies as a whole, the first one's the best one, obviously.
Yeah.
And the other two were good.
Yep.
I enjoyed them. I didn't think they were terrible movies. I thought they were good. They were good movies. But yeah, they just really trying to make her a big thing, and I'm sorry, she's just not. She's not. And I think the constantly rebooting of her series reflects that, and low sales of her book. She's never been a popular character. She can't stand alone on her own.
What about this? And I mean, I don't know. Maybe she's not that popular, but to me, it's a popular character. But what about they taking popular characters and making them unpopular, like She-Hulk? Like She-Hulk was a great character, and they kind of ruined that one.
Yeah.
That might be worse than trying to take unpopular characters and make them popular.
Yeah, if you read the original Savage She-Hulk comics, those were great.
Very good.
And the sensational She-Hulk, really good stuff. Yeah, I'd very much like to see a good She-Hulk run. I love She-Hulk as a character. But yeah, they really swung and missed with her lately. I don't know why. Maybe it's just bad writing. They don't know what to do with her. But again, same thing as Captain Marvel. I feel like that's a character they really don't know what to do with. But they just keep desperately trying to make her a thing, and she's just not. They're trying to make her like Marvel's Superman, you know. And same thing with like Ironheart. They're trying to like make her a thing.
Yeah,
she's not a popular character. They've tried her own series. It gets canceled because no one buys it. I mean, people like to tweet about her, but tweets don't translate into sales. Not even tweets. Tweets don't translate to sales.
I'd buy some treats.
That's very, very clear. And then like this Amadeus Cho, they're trying to make him a Hulk.
That was a while ago. Did they give up on that?
That was a while ago. I think they have. He's disappeared. You don't really see much of him anywhere.
But like the mid 2000s, I felt like it was just relentlessly punching that in there.
Yeah, late 2000 teens, you know, they were trying to really push him like the Champions and things like that. Again, we already have a Hulk. Thank you. And he's Bruce Banner, and he's way better. And we got a Red Hulk. Red Hulk's even better than the Amadeus Cho Hulk. You know, Red Hulk's way cooler.
What about America Chavez? They were pushing that like crazy too. You remember that?
Oh yeah.
That kind of. I haven't seen an America Chavez book in a while.
I don't know who was even buying those. I mean, maybe she's part of a team. I don't know.
No.
But yeah, they keep trying to push these really unpopular characters. And there's a whole discussion to be had about like why they are pushing the Inhumans so strong, because I think they were really trying to push them. I think they were really upset about not having the rights to X-Men and Fantastic Four and Spider-Man. So they were trying to like diminish those characters in the comics and bring other characters like Inhumans. They were trying to make Inhumans the next mutants, and it just didn't take.
Yeah, that's true. Back then, they couldn't make an X-Men movie. Disney couldn't make an X-Men movie. So they wanted to have another team that they were trying to make that team happen. Yeah, that's exactly it.
Yeah. But that's a whole separate discussion, because there was a lot of like goings on around that. It's pretty interesting if you want to read up on that. But you know what? Hey, if you like Captain Marvel, she's like the greatest character ever for you. Hey, okay, I disagree. That's not my opinion. I don't think she's a great character. Again, great team character, not a standalone character.
Yeah, not somebody that's going to support the franchise on their back.
No, not by any means. And I think the viewing audience, the normies out there, are picking up on that too.
Everyone keeps talking about, in terms of the movies and the shows, Marvel fatigue. You've heard this term probably 1,000 times in the last 5 years.
Superhero fatigue, yeah.
I don't think that's a real thing. I think
it's bad movie fatigue.
That's exactly it. It's bad movie fatigue.
Bad movie and show fatigue.
Bad content fatigue.
A good movie, a good show is a good show. That's it.
That's all there is to it.
Yeah, make good stuff. And people will watch it. People will line up to buy your stuff and watch your shows. It's not complicated.
I mean, there probably will come a point where like the ideas are all just gone, like Westerns, right? Eventually it was like, how many times can we make a Western? Like,
I like good Westerns.
Yeah, but, could they make a brand new Western today that would be different than the Westerns they made, 50, 60, 80 years ago? Probably not. The stories have all been told. I think we'll reach a point in superhero movies where the stories have all been told. But I don't think we're there yet, is my point. I think there's still a lot of ideas and a lot of content available, but they're just making bad content.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. And it seems like they're spamming stuff out. Like, not, comics, movies and stuff so much anymore. They've really slowed down quite a bit.
They dialed that back, yeah.
Yeah, big time. But just in general, like any other movies, they just keep spamming these movies. Because I remember going to the theater when I was a kid was an event.
Sure.
But now you movie, why am I going to a theater to see a movie? I just wait a month and I can watch it at home and not have, some idiot on his phone in front of me and, people talking and making noises and, yeah.
I remember going to see Batman 1989 in the theater.
Yep.
Went to the little town center over in east side of town.
Yep.
It was. I mean, the term blockbuster
Yeah.
never resonated with me until that day, and I was like, oh, the line was going around the block.
Yeah.
To get in to see this movie.
Yeah.
I don't remember the last time I've had that kind of experience at a movie theater. Maybe not this most recent set of Star Wars movies, but the Jar Jar Binks Star Wars movie, when nobody realized they were bad, right?
Yeah,
when they first came out, I mean, that was insane too.
Yeah.
But yeah, other than the few very random instances.
Yeah, I think the craziest theater experience is when I saw Return of the Jedi when I was a kid in the theater. We saw it opening night. My mom got us tickets, me, her, and my brother. We went opening night. They had way oversold it. We got there super early, and we were lucky we got seats.
Were there people standing?
There were people standing in the back, and there were people sitting in the aisles.
Wow.
This is the first showing of Star Wars in our town. And this was when the mall had a movie theater with an arcade next to it.
I remember that.
Yeah. And yeah, that was crazy. I mean,
ironically, the mall has a movie theater again.
It does now, yeah.
It's like 40 years
later. I know, right? And when that moment when Darth Vader picked up the Emperor over his head, and threw him down the shaft, people stood up screaming, cheering.
That's cool.
And and this was when like the opening scroll of Star Wars, people are clapping, yeah. And then at the end of the movie, people are cheering the movie at the end when the credits start. Like you do not see that anymore.
No, it doesn't happen.
The last time I saw something like that was when I went and resaw Star Wars: A New Hope. And when the opening scroll started, people started clapping. And then when the movie ended again, people were cheering the end of the movie.
Yeah. I missed it. They did a
You don't see that anymore. Movies aren't an event anymore. They're not.
I missed they did a re-release or like a re-showing of Jaws not too long ago. And I wish I would have went and saw that in the theater because how many times do you get to see Jaws in the theater?
Yeah.
But anyway, put a pin in this one, the unpopular characters thing.
Yeah.
Who knows what they're thinking? Well, we know what they're trying to make something popular. They're trying to make something unpopular popular so they can make more money off of it.
Yeah.
Seems to me like
they just keep trying it. And like, look, it's not happening. Stop.
Yeah. Seems like they're just shooting themselves in the foot over and over again.
Yeah. Focus on other characters that do work, and stop printing stuff that doesn't sell. Maybe instead of, putting money into that, focus on getting, better writers and artists and stuff like that on your more prestige books, and really focus on those instead.
Are those, this is a tangent that I hesitate to go down, but are the days of like high caliber, like really truly exceptional writers and artists, is that over? Did they all like get the memo that like we're not giving away our ideas to Marvel and DC for free anymore?
Yeah, I think until Marvel, I can't speak about DC, but I know people have complained to no end about the low pay that Marvel gives to its writers.
Yeah, so number one, low pay. Number two, you
until
lose
that changes,
you lose your ideas.
We're going to keep seeing the same level of quality. Because, from what I understand, Marvel pays just abysmal rates on their pages.
I looked it up the other day just out of curiosity. Like, what does Marvel pay an artist per page? And, this is just Google, so who knows how accurate it is. But, like, the average, according to Google, is like $200 a page. And if you're doing one book a month, like, it worked out to like $40,000 a year. Like, nobody is, like, wanting to spend 60 plus hours a week to make $40,000 a year.
I'm no expert, but from what I understand, that's pretty accurate.
Yeah.
And writing is even worse.
Oh yeah, writers probably make even less, don't they?
Yeah, that's why you see like the same writer like on 5 titles.
Right, sure.
And they're just turning out like boring just junk.
Well, that's part two is what I was saying is do they not want to give away the good stuff? You know what I mean? They're holding back. Even if it's a great writer, it's like, oh, I'm not going to give them this character.
Well, I think a great writer isn't working at Marvel.
Well, sure, yeah.
They're making their own stuff, like what Mark Millar's doing. And yes, someone corrected me. It's not Mark Millar, like I thought. I'm an idiot. I do mispronounce things. It's Mark Millar. So yeah, my apologies. Mark Millar is doing that, and he's doing very well for himself.
Yeah. Is he published under like his own publishing, or is it Image?
And he's sold his rights off to Netflix, so they own like a lot of his like Nemesis, and Jupiter's Legacy and stuff like that.
Okay.
So he's done very well for himself, and good for him, because he writes good stuff. He's out there just he's doing what's in his best interest, and good for you, man.
So my suspicion is you've got editors working at the publisher that are probably getting paid well enough to make their jobs justifiable.
Yeah.
And they're trying to push these unpopular characters because they know they're not going to get new characters. No one's going to come to Marvel and be like, hey, I got this idea for this character called Venom. Like that, no one's ever going to do that again. Yeah. And then, like even if we're saying like they're not hiring good artists and good writers. Maybe they are good artists and writers, but they're just not willing to give them the good ideas. So,
I'm going to go do crowdfund my own book with my good ideas.
But I think
what happens there.
I think, again, just shooting from the hip, taking a guess, it's like the editors are killing this stuff because they're strangling the creativity.
I've heard several people say if you want to fix what's wrong with like Marvel and DC and the big guys, it's got to be like from the top down.
Yeah.
It's got to be from the top down. Because nothing's going to change unless you have like serious personnel changes like at the top. Because they're just perpetuating all the problems, And I think you're absolutely right. If I have a really good idea for a unique and interesting character, why on earth would I let Marvel have it or DC have it and have all the rights to it? No way. I want to go do my own thing.
Yeah, let's just give Marvel / Disney $1 billion. Yeah. Like, Merry Christmas, we love you.
And unless they're willing to start paying people what they should pay them, and give them, rights over some of their, creator-owned properties and stuff.
I'm not even sure,
it's not going to change.
I'm not even sure they need to pay them much more off the bat. But they should be given, and I don't think it needs to be a big chunk, but they should be getting a royalty. You came up with this character and it wound up in a movie that made $1 billion in profit.
Yep.
Here's $10 million.
Yep.
Why not?
Yeah. But I think that's why we see all these issues with using a lot of characters and stuff and them changing characters so much in the movies and TV shows is because I think if they change a character enough, they get out of paying royalties.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think we are well beyond the 1 hour mark at this point. So why don't we wrap this one up? Let us know in the comments, though, what are your reasons if you did stop, collecting comics, reading comics, whatever.
And what's your reason for staying reading comics?
Well, good question. If you are still in it, why do you read the comics?
Yeah, what keeps you buying that same book every month?
I think, I'm curious also. A lot of people just buy these books and never read them. That's not abnormal.
You're missing out, man.
People collect comics, and I don't personally have a problem with it, but if people collect comics like they're trading cards, they put them in the bag and board. More specifically, they put them in the slab, and it's not a piece of a story anymore. It's just a front and a back. It's a piece of artwork.
I mean, well, you're helping out, business.
Sure.
So, okay.
I mean, I've bought comics that I never read. I've done it.
You're missing out on some good stuff. Despite what me and Guy are saying, there is still a lot of good comics out there. Sure. We're just saying this is what I don't like comics do. And I'm not saying all comics do this. All publishers do this. Marvel doesn't do this all the time. No, but when they do it, I don't like it.
It's a shame we put that at the end of the video and not the beginning because we're going to get about a dozen comments that say that's not every book. And we just acknowledge that's not every book. Yes. And no one's going to hear this part of this. No one's going to hear this part.
They've already checked out at this point.
Yeah. But let us know in the comments what you guys think. Yeah. And let's wrap this one up because my back's starting to hurt. I'm sitting in this chair for an hour or so. But as always, thanks for tuning in and watching. I appreciate it. I'm sure Matt does as well.
Yeah,
and,
very much.
Let's close this out. As I always say, keep collecting comics. Even if it's back issues, doesn't have to be current issues. Just keep the industry alive. Keep watching our videos. We would greatly appreciate it. And until the next one, bye now.
Bye.